Hey, I'm Sharon. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing lines. So lines are what makes up our drawings, and we're going to start learning to draw. But we're going to do it with a couple of words, because this week for me it's all about connecting with our inner guidance, finding opportunities to do that, and writing, doodling, scribbling, they all help. So today we're going to do the words trust myself, and it's about thinness and thickness of lines, because when we understand lines and where our light comes from, then we can start creating a drawing. It starts giving it depth. So let's go and have a little play. Okay, so I'm in my red journal and I'm on my I am silent and listening, and today I'm doing lettering, but more to show lines, where our light comes from, darkness, lightness, than to do lettering itself. So what I've done is I've got my ruler, which makes a surprise, and I've put a line here and here just for my lettering. And then I'm going to very basically just put the outline. So my two words are trust, better spell it right, and I'm just writing that really lightly so I've got the spacing, myself. Okay, so you probably can't see that, but that's given me a basic outline. And now I'm going to think about which side I want light and which side I want dark. So I'm going to say that my sun is coming from this side, and I'll do an arrow here to remind me. So imagine that's your sun coming in. So therefore this side will be light and this side will be dark from each lettering. Okay, I've sketched out my lettering and I'll write it on backwards so you can see. So I'm going to use my normal thin pen to start off with and get that working. So I'm just going to do our lettering. Now if you don't feel confident in writing out a word, by hand, then you can always do something on Word, on your Word document, print it out and copy it or trace it. But it's good practice for you just to do it by hand. I mean, it doesn't need to be perfect, and it just gets the feel of the pencil and the pen in your hand. And remember, everything is good practice. So looks like this pen's just about on its last legs. So I'll just continue along there and you can join me again in a minute. Okay, so I've written out trust myself, and I might just get my rubber and just lightly take off those lines underneath because we don't need them coming through. And remember we did at the top here, we decided we were going to have our sun coming this way. So if we imagine we can even draw it in if we want, just a little sun. There you go. So then you can see which way that's coming. So obviously when a sun's coming, this side that it hits first is lighter and this side is in the shadow. And at the moment we can't see that. Our lettering looks really flat. But if we get a darker pen now, a thicker pen, and I've just got a piece of paper underneath so it doesn't bleed through too much, and if we think about where the shadow is, we can just put lines like that. So again, we've got the light at the top and this side here. We're going to keep this side with the sun coming on, keeping it very simple, and then the underside is our shadow. And you can see that when we do that a little bit thicker, that already we have
quite a definition in that letter. You can see it's come off the page, whereas the rest are flat. So I'm going to continue on and do all these. I'll just show you the S because that's a little bit different. It's got a curve there, and then it would sort of come across from here, and then on the underside here, and I think that's about right. We can always add a little bit more in afterwards, but maybe we just want to go a little bit higher there and a little bit thinner there and a little bit more there. So there we go, S. So I'll continue doing those and then we'll come back to it. Now we have our lettering. You can see our sun coming in, our lighter lines on the top and our darker ones, and I hope what you can see from that is that it's now got depth, which is what we were trying to achieve. So that's our very first goal with doing lines when we're drawing, is to create depth. So we're going to take it just a little bit further because it's in my journal, I want to put some colour in it. So I've got a blue watercolour pencil, and what I'm going to do is basically put blue and half the letter against the darker lines, the thicker lines. So I'm just putting that in like that, just a half. And I'm going to continue doing that, and then we'll see what's next. Okay, so as you can see, I've done the lettering and you can see even more depth in it now. And I've just used that watercolour pencil, and what I've got is just a thin brush and my water. And I'm going to now just wet where I've put the pencil so that it's nice and smooth. And then I'm just going to lightly bring it up over the other bits. And what I'm looking to achieve, I'm not sure if it's going to work on this paper, is just a little bit more reflection and less hard lines. I'm not quite sure if it's going to come together, but we'll see. So just wet it and bring it across. It's not blending quite as well as I'd hope, but I think you get the general idea. And at the end of the day, the goal of this one was purely for you to see the light and dark. That one's just sort of turned out mainly the one colour all over. I could probably put extra pencil in again afterwards once it's dry. We could play with that. But really, like I said, the goal was for you to have a go at just thin lines, thick lines, know where your sun is, which reminds me, I'm going to colour in my sun. Can't have it just sitting there on the page and have no colour in it. So there we go. That's cool. I'll just put a bit of water on that just to there, it's coming through on the paper. That's a real pity. I did try and get I did get the best paper I could for these journals, but really if you're going to be using water, an art journal is a better idea. Although, you know, if you just accept it as it is, then it's all good, isn't it? It doesn't really matter. So anyway, I'll just finish colouring this in. I've nearly done anyway, and we'll see what happens. So there you have it. There's your lettering. Trust myself. It's a nice little statement to have. And if you practice those thick and thin lines and where the light's coming from, so your softer lines and your darker lines, then next week when we do some urban sketching, which will be drawing a building, it'll help you immensely. So practice that, and let me know in the comments below what you think. Subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying it. Otherwise, catch me on Facebook. Join the private Facebook group Creating Vision Journals Together. Either. I'll catch you somewhere. All right, have a great day. Cheers.